Hello, everyone. How are you? Thank you for joining us for What's the Buzz? Our last What's the Buzz of 2023, if you can believe that. It's crazy. Let me just let everybody in. Welcome, welcome. We're going to start very soon. Thank you for those of you who are here on us with Zoom or also on LinkedIn Live, so you can see us on both platforms. But yeah, we are here. Heather and I are here. We're excited to chat with you about how SMBs can leverage employee self-service to meet challenges of 2024, which I think we could all embrace 2024. I'm ready for 2024 and want to take on as much as we can to improve in 2024. It's kind of crazy that we're already at the end of the year, but welcome everyone to our What's the Buzz chat. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to introduce Heather from BizRun Software. Very excited to have her here joining me this month as we talk about employee self-service. I have a few questions for her. And Heather, are you ready to get started? Do you want to, are you ready? Are you fired up?
Right, I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right. Hey, Evan. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Valerie. Thanks for joining us on Zoom. I appreciate it. So our first question, obviously, employee self-service. What is it?
Well, I wanted to come chat with you about employee self-service today because it's something that might not be top of mind for folks in the ERP world. But with some of the ongoing challenges we see in the current business climate, specifically tensions between employees and employers, I think it's important to take a look at it as one of the potential tools in your toolbox. Um, okay, so what is it? Employee self-service is a company portal or HR system that lets employees independently view and edit employment and administrative information. Typically, it's going to include the common things that an employee turns to HR for. So things like, I need to update my direct deposit, or how much PTO do I have left this year, or what are my benefits deductions going to cost me? So instead of that employee having to reach out to HR and wait for a response, with employee self-service, they can log in and resolve simple inquiries themselves. Or for something more complex, they can put in a request to get the ball rolling. I do want to mention, you don't want to confuse employee self-service with customer self-service, like Acumatica's customer self-service portal. That would be a system that lets customers log in and take a look at order status or reach out to customer support. So, to risk stating the obvious, employee self-service is a system for employees.
Yes. And, I've worked in the past for ISVs that have had employee self-service and have ones that have not. And I can tell you how much easier it is when you can actually go in and make the changes yourself versus having to send the emails and send the updates. And I know you're going to dive into that. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I do think, putting more autonomy into the hands of the employees, so helpful and beneficial. And I know you'll share those benefits, but yeah, it's very, very helpful to have that. And I hope people on this call, people on LinkedIn Live really start to think about and embracing this and having some kind of employee self-service as we talk more about it. So how does employee self-service address big challenges businesses will face in 2024?
Sure, yeah. I think it does a number of things. Employee self-service is a simple enough idea, and it's something a lot of companies, even small businesses, have already implemented in some form or fashion. But I think it deserves another look in terms of the context that we're heading into. You know, Worldwide, we're seeing extremely rapid change in the workplace. And it's not just the way that AI is radically altering employee job descriptions. The dynamic between workers and employers has changed tremendously in the wake of the pandemic. People were working from home for months or years and juggling family and school. It was a lot.
Mhm.
The best example of that, I think we probably all saw this video of that father being interviewed by the BBC, and then his toddler comes marching in behind him. He's not aware of it at first. And then the baby in the walker rolls in, and the mom's on her knees, like scrambling to get them out of there. That was hilarious because it was so relatable. I feel like everyone experienced some version of that themselves during the pandemic, where their personal lives literally intruded into the workplace. And since then, I think it really changed worker perspective, because now they're feeling like they really want to be seen as whole people and not just limited to their professional personas. And the data really backs that up. 82% of employees say that they want their organization to see them as a person and not just an employee. Folks are looking for greater purpose and connection in the workplace, and they still value the freedom and flexibility of working from home, even as employers are sounding the call to return to office. But then you've got employers in a tight spot. They're dealing with these new demands from workers while facing stagnant productivity, lingering supply chain issues, and talent shortages. And talent shortages, everybody's talking about. And we're not expecting that to get better anytime soon. Most HR leaders are expecting increased talent competition in the near term. And people might not realize it's new hires that actually pose the greatest flight risk in your company. It's so hard to find and land that perfect candidate. And then once the position's filled, you think your work is done there. But, employees with less than 6 months under their belts are the ones most likely to leave. So it's really critical to get them engaged and connected early on.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And obviously making things easy for them. And I feel like employee self-service not only makes it easy for them, but of course it makes it easy for the HR team and the business as a whole. So it just makes everything streamlined, and definitely everyone can benefit from it. So
yeah, it really gives you a way to bridge some of these gaps.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're putting tools right in the hands of your people. You're giving them confidence in the company's technology. You're empowering them. You're saying, hey, the answers you need are right here. And if your system has workflow and approval, then they get the transparency to be able to see where their request is in the process. It really shows them that they matter.
And it also means less emails going back and forth too, because if you don't have something in place, then you have all these emails going around about PTO and about changing this and changing that, which obviously that things can get lost in the shuffle. There could be some sensitive information in those emails that you don't want in there, so it kind of can take that away. Definitely will take that away. So I can definitely see how people can benefit from having more of a streamlined self-service approach.
Yeah, absolutely. All that back and forth.
Yeah. So what elements should a company include in an employee self-service solution?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay.
Okay,
Hi
sorry.
there.
I think it was me.
Okay, all right.
What did you get my question, or did I freeze?
I think we mostly heard your question. It was, what elements should a company include in their employee self-service?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. Well, there's two main categories that you really need to think about. It's not just what you want to include, but also how the system needs to operate. So as far as what to include, the big three are frequently changing data, names, addresses, emergency contacts, basic stuff like that. Pay related data, so timekeeping, if that's relevant for your company, paid time off, state and federal withholding, and direct deposit. And then third would be life cycle touch points. So these are things like onboarding forms, benefits elections, performance reviews, compensation changes. And these are really where you have the greatest opportunity to create a bond and an emotional connection with employees, because these are the big moments in their professional journey. And the kind of experience that they have can directly translate into their engagement and their longevity with your company. So that's the what. But then as far as the how the system operates, in a perfect world, that's going to be a system that's mobile friendly, because you got to meet your people where they are, which is on their darn phones. Second is in the cloud to keep things simple and avoid IT headaches. A third would be workflow. This ideal system would have the ability to route requests to different people and departments for review and approval, because that's really the most important element for communication within the company. And those workflows should be customizable so that they really fit your company. And everyone that's involved in a particular request should be able to see what the status of that item is as it moves through its life cycle. And then the last thing would be integration. Ideally, your employee self-service system would integrate with other key systems in your organization, like your ERP or your payroll, so that when someone updates their federal withholdings, for example, it gets approved, and then it's already in payroll. Nobody has to worry about it.
That makes it very easy.
Yeah.
All right, last question already, if you can believe that. Time flies when you have 20 minutes. What kind of results can companies expect?
Yeah, time really does fly. Well, if you're able to put a system like this in place that hits most of these major points, you are going to see a bunch of benefits. And I put together a little infographic to share with you. I'll just share my screen. Okay.
There it is.
Okie doke. Let me zoom in so we can actually read it. Okay, so I got 7 big benefits here. The first is accessibility. So with data available via web portal or mobile app, employees can view and update their information anytime, anywhere. And, this kind of convenience is not just a nice to have. Increasingly, this is a baseline expectation. Next is employee empowerment. Employees really want to see prompt issue resolution. And when they have direct access to information and resources, they're able to resolve inquiries faster and with less frustration. They're also going to be more engaged and feel more connected to the company. They're going to feel like they have a voice and like they're listened to. Third is accuracy. So when we're not playing a game of telephone to update a bank routing number or handing off paper in order to change a dependent count, it's incredible how many errors can be eliminated because you're getting that single point of data entry that then cascades throughout the system. Next is efficiency and cost reduction. And to me, these two really go hand in hand. Being able to do more faster without increasing headcount, because information is being shared more accurately and feeding straight into your other systems instead of HR having to personally handle every question that comes up. So your people are answering their own questions and HR can focus on high priority initiatives. This is especially important and valuable if your company is rapidly growing. being able to do more without increasing headcount is vital.
Mm-hmm.
And then recruiting, we kind of touched on that earlier. When you are able to leverage employee self-service from the minute onboarding begins, those new hires come into the company with confidence in your technology and tools, and they're just so much more engaged. And then last but not least is transparency and accountability. Once you have employees, supervisors, and HR all looking to one central system to check the status of a time off request or a performance review, there's no more mystery. And that kind of transparency really brings comfort and reassurance because employees know they're not being forgotten about and HR is being kept totally in the loop.
Yes. So before we wrap it up, I'd love for you to share a little bit about BizRun and what you focus on, and then share obviously how you help Acumatica partners and customers, and then we will make sure we send out the recording to everybody.
Sure, yeah. So BizRun has been around since 2016, and we do all-in-one HR in the cloud. That's everything from timekeeping and time off to performance reviews and compensation management. And now we're integrated with Acumatica, which is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and we like to say we're your affordable timekeeping partner. Yeah, it's been really awesome. And as far as what we've seen in our journey helping customers with employee self-service, we've seen a lot of success around streamlining things like paid time off, where you can see a lot of back and forth between people and departments, a call to HR to find out how much time do I have off, and then they put in their request, they don't realize all their colleagues are going on vacation the same week, and then everybody's ticked off. So it can be such a time saver and such a lift to have one place where everybody can put those requests in. And then onboarding, that's one area where there are just so many pieces of information to track, all the forms to fill out, videos, the hardware, just it's like death by a 1,000 paper cuts. So we've had a lot of customers rave about what a game changer it is to have a central place to manage all that and for to see the status of those items. So, whatever your employee self-service system is, I just encourage companies to think about getting something like that in place to deal with some of these challenges.
Yeah. I love how you said about how, taking time off. Obviously, it's holiday season, right? And everybody's going to be requesting time off. So wouldn't it be great to be able to see which people on your team are taking time off? Who's taking time off at the same time? Where's their gaps? Where's their overlap? What do we need to fill the gaps? Like if there's too many people taking time off at a certain time and you don't have the people in place to do the other stuff. So yes, just being able to see all that, especially around now, I think it's such a game changer and saves time and resources just to figure all that out where you can see it all in one place. So I love that you can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I so appreciate you having me on today. It's been awesome being on What's the Buzz, and I'd love to be in touch with folks. They can find out more about BizRun online at bizrun.com, or please, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you, Heather, for being on the last What's the Buzz of 2023. I'm excited. And everybody, we will continue What's the Buzz in 2024, of course. It's the second Tuesday of every month at 4 p.m. Eastern time for 20 minutes. So if you haven't registered yet, please do, because you will be in it for the series of 2024 as well. So thank you, everyone, for joining us here on Zoom and LinkedIn Live. And thank you, Heather.
Thank you so much.